Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV. A public rally is being held today at Diphupar village under Chumukedima district to protest against illegal multiple taxation, extortion, kidnapping and life-threatening activities. According to reports, the rally began near the airport junction within Diphupar jurisdiction and proceeded to Green Park junction, concluding with a program at Agri Expo ground Diphupar, which is ongoing. In support of this event, all shops in the area were instructed to close by 8 a.m. and will reopen after the program concludes. To talk more on this, I'm being joined by our Associate Editor, Al Nguli, live from the newsroom. And later on, after the program concludes, we'll be connecting with our reporter who is in the ground as well. So, hi, sir. Can you hear me? Good morning. Hello, sir. Al. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Naomi, are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, sir, thank you for joining me. To start off, sir, we've been seeing more and more protests in Nagaland against the use of fear and violence against the people. Sir, it seems like this movement is slowly gaining strength among the community. So do you think this is a positive sign that should be encouraged, or do you think that there are risks involved that we should be careful about? Sir, how do you view the growing momentum of these protests that's been going on in Diphupar?
Okay, what's the question? Is this something we should be cautious about or something that we should be encouraging?
Yes, sir.
Was that the question, Naomi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, there are two things here, Naomi, that we have to seriously look at, and especially for the community leaderships who are leading us. We don't have anyone to protect us in Nagaland. We don't have anyone to speak on our behalf in Nagaland, first thing. Second thing, the only voice that will be heard in Nagaland, at least the way things are looking, are the voices of the people. Two things here. So first thing, I would say that the increasing number of cases where instances of fear has been used as a tool against the people by certain elements in the community, and the increasing number of protests by the people shows that because we don't have anyone who is there to represent our voice, especially at the constitutional, governmental level, it says that there's no one to protect us, so now there is no one except us who will have to take up the tool for ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. We have to stand up for ourselves. So I think this should be encouraged, but we should also be very cautious, because in the absence of a governmental constitutional apparatus not there to protect us, not there to work for us, not there to address the issues, this thing could go out of hand. And it is very interesting that the protest this time is in Diphupar, because if we look back at 2017 during the municipal elections, protests turned into violence. A peaceful protest turned into violence. And this has been the case for many occasions during the past 30 to 40 years in Nagaland, where, of course, the situation that we're seeing in Nagaland right now is that all these protests and rallies are mostly against activities and engagements by the nationalist armed groups. So if we look at the trend, while yes, it is true that the people have no one to speak for them in the assembly, at the administrative level, at the government level, and that is why they are doing this, but it still speaks a lot about the space that the government of Nagaland has to fill. They wouldn't be out there protesting if someone was representing them at the administrative level, at the law enforcement level. So I think we should, yes, be very cautious in this, but I think it is also a time for the government authorities to just start acting, Naomi.
Yes, sir, right. Sir, it looks like the Naga community and the citizens of Nagaland are starting to protect themselves and speak up more, especially in situations where they feel their government has failed them for many years. So do you believe that this change is a reflection of the people taking matters into their own hands because they have lost faith in the authorities. What do you think this says about the relationship between the citizens and their government?
Is that question for me, Naomi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Relationship between the state and the government in this context, right?
Yes, sir. The communities and the government, the relationship between them, sir.
Yeah. If we look at what happened in Kohima, especially the Angami Youth Organization and the NSCN Kango issue,
yes, sir.
I personally feel, because that is what I also feel, you know, not just in the context of people and government, but also individual and the government. The society generally has not really proven itself when it comes to trusting the government, especially during the past about 20 years now. And we have seen a lot of malpractices, we have seen a lot of corruption, we have seen a lot of fear-mongering, we have seen a lot of threats, we have also seen protests. So all this shows that I think most of the people, most of the people in Nagaland, they don't really trust the government anymore, and that is the reason why they believe that they are the only ones who can protect themselves, and that is the reason why they devise all these democratic forms of protest, if I may call so that they will be heard. And I'm very surprised that the only time that we have really heard from the government, especially even during the Angami Youth Organization issue, was a one-page press release from the Home Ministry in the state. So I think these are all reflections of why the people no longer trust the government in law enforcement issues. I mean, we have been talking about extortion for a long time. It used to be a very big issue in my childhood too. We've been talking about citizens being killed. We have been talking about all this for a long time, and still the problem continues. And our nephews and nieces, the younger generation coming up, they are also talking about this. So I think it is plain and clear that there is no relationship between the government and the people in this context, and the people are there left alone to fend for themselves.
Right, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask you, sir, why do you think that the Nagaland administration and law enforcement authorities seem to remain so passive, even when the Naga people have been, suffering for so long? Despite the ongoing issues, the authorities appear to be slow, or rather unwilling to act in this case. So what could be the reasons behind this, and how does it affect the people's trust in the government or the authorities?
I'm sorry, Nami, I didn't get the question.
So why is it that the Nagaland administration and the authorities seem to be so passive, or rather, seem to be so docile in issues such as this?
Why do you think that the state administration seem to be too flaccid or docile?
Yes, sir.
In addressing these issues? I think, Naomi, you and I know, especially those in the media, know that everything in Nagaland is interconnected. And I think it is easy for the government to say to the police administration, hey, take action. But actually the action should come from the government itself. The proactive involvement in the issues of the people should come directly from the government. And most of the time the onus is left on the police authorities. But the police authorities can act only through the use of legislative tools, the use of the rule of law by the government. For them, they act only when there is a directive from the government. If only there is some kind of a direction that is offered by the government, leadership offered by the government, that the police authorities, the investigation agencies can work. So I think the people's opinion about how the government works in Nagaland is that because all these issues are interrelated, and I think even the armed nationalist groups are not really strangers when it comes to the government leadership. It could be in contracts, it could be in elections. I'm not saying they're involved, but Nagaland is a very small place, Naomi. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone is an uncle or an auntie or a nephew or from the same village. The network of relationship is very deep in Nagaland, and that is why I think even at a professional level, even at a governmental level, there are times that the government has to engage directly with even the nationalist organizations, just as they do with a community organization. So no one is really strangers here. So I think there will be a lot of times, even the law enforcement agencies will have to go a little easy on the people against whom the communities are protesting or have been protesting.
Right, sir. Sir, before I go to our reporter Akre, who is in the ground, lastly, I want to ask this question. Sir, do you think that it is time for the government to act in ways, to show the people that they truly represent the people? Yes, sir? Sir, can you hear me? Hello, sir? Hello? Right, a little technical issues over there, but I'll be joined right now by our reporter Christina Giho, who is in the ground to give us the live updates as to how the rally has unfolded. Yes, Akre, apni hunias na? Acha, really, Akre Ajila really do saishiguli do allegations of illegal taxation, extortion, kidnapping, or threats kan laborde thagishe. So idu really do. Edu madia la opodo kiman serious ase aro edu laga really la opode details arbi mohange janai dibo
hoy nomi edu aji laga rally de manu kiman seriously lo ase aji do itu do tahan la turnout sabra jani lo aro turnout saigene jaile do in terms of 2000 manu do ahigene show up kurishe utu 2000 in terms of 2000 manu aishe kwado Diphupar village council laga chairman prahi agere moi khan tai ge kotha kurigene ahia homoi Hornbill TV ge exclusively kotha kura homoi tai bra janai dishde aro yare tai khan la turn out to bishi hwa nishna public khan bi ekdam khushi na pala kotha bi janai she moi khan aji laga program de hoile do students body Diphupar students body youth organization aro village council bi kotha kurishe tambi paratak time do khata koile koshish kurishe itu piche de alak manu kun kotha kuribole mon ase tai khan ge kotha han bi kuribole dishe aru manu voluntarily ahigene kotha kuribole mon labi manu bishi ahigene koishe aru kuma manu hile do time bi constraint thagi ja garne ta han kotha kurile mon thagile pare ne hoile bi ekta tai khan yare village chairman youth organization aru students body Diphupar laga janai dia hisab hole do itu moina 18 aru 19 de hwa laga hatsa upor bi tai khan ekdam khushi na pala kotha bi janai she itu hatsa hole to itu kahovi chishi koigine ekjon tai khan bra kwado self styled captain ase kuise aro tai do itu NSCNR laga ase koine claim kuri gene manuge threaten kuria aro manuge itu manula life manulaga jan lobole laga bi tai loigina threaten bi kuise use Diphupar youth organization laga president ge holi bi threaten kura la bi tahan janaise to itu hatsa hole to buhan news outlets kumba debi saigene jaise itu ni bi de tan aji mainly itu karne bi khushi na pala kotha bi janai dise to ekta dusra incident hole to itu moina dehi April na May June kan la Panibi Hornbill TV bra ekta rubi exclusive coverage kurishe kore faction kumba de manu ase koi gene claim kuri gene ahi gene tade pharmacist ekjun ge Diphupar village tehi pharmacist ekjun ge dhamkai gene tahan tai ke abduct kuri gene loi jaru tai la wife ke ahi gene ke kundu faction la kem dese tade holi log pawole la bi janaise holi utu din hi tade bi Diphupar village kan bra manu ge alleged culprit kan gibi duri loise aru date 18 aru 19 de hulibi tai khan etu kun bra threaten kurise janai dia nishna kahovi chishi ase kuise tai reformation laga ase koine claim kuria nishna tan itu labi manuge threaten kura labi tan khushi kotha khushi napa labi kotha janaise aji tai khan laga itu multiple tai khan aji la public rally kura la main reason to ki ase gole against multiple taxation aro itu illegal activities kan anti social activities kan practice kura karne bi tai khan ekta public aji public rally law bi dikhi paise tai khan la main itu aji rally law against unabated taxation kidnapping aro threatening of citizens and leaders la holi bi tai khan itu laga against kuina rally loise to aji yare Nagaland police khan bi sob bi ahine duty khan bi kuri gene jaise itu eklai noile tahan memorandum bi likhi gena chumukidi ma laga DC ge bi submit kuise tai khan laga itu memorandum de laga first point hole to itu self styled kahovi chishi ge hole bi self styled captain kahovi chishi ge hole bi arrest kuribola booked tai ge book kuribola ge kuise to be strictly booked under relevant sections of National Security Act aru ekta hole to tai ge bail na diwole la aru kun hole bi tai karne bail loile to tani responsibility lowo lagya la bi janaise third hole to tahan ki resolve kurise kole to itu firearms public places te manu bukhi gene birahan itu tahan oppose kura labi janaise aru fourth hole to tai khan ekta resolve kurise to firmly stand for the adoption of one government one tax policy that would consolidate tax collection and administration koi gene ase mohan yare resolution tahan puria do olop joldi puri dise itu garne mohan tahan bra mohan ge resolution likhi gine dia la puri dia je fifth hoile to tahan la resolve kurise arubi to strictly enforce ceasefire ground rules in letter and in spirit aru sixth taikhan la last resolution hoile to taige immediately bosti pra Diphupar village council pra excommunicate kuridia expel kuridia laga bi aji yare taikhan laga leader pra itu laga resolutions kan bi read out kurigena dima chumuki dima laga DC ke holi bi taikhan itu handover kuridise toman kotha kurigene jaile to sabi all the organizations in Diphupar, be it the Mothers Association or the youths or the students or the village council leaders kan sob bi khushi na pala kotha janaise aru tai khan kiman diri inega bhoi de thagibo na kiman diri manu laga fear de thagine manu atange suppress kuri gene rakhibo koi gene tahan ekta fear bi janai dise to itu ekta mohan sai gene jaile to ayo bishi diri hwana ayo khan huili bi ekta public rally kohimare bi lwa aru itu public rally kohimare lwa laga dayo Dimapur au youth organization khan itu rally de bi kotha kuise aru ajibi yare ahi gene rally de kotha kurado dayo laga president aru bi ekbar koise itu under the National Security Act itu anti social policies kan spread kuri thaka han ge tahan itu kotha kuribole tahan ge book kuribole aru book kuri di under NSA hi tahan ge book kuribo lagi koise hoy book kuribo lagi koise to itu tai khan saigene jaile do Diphupar village council khan bi chairman bi kotha kura hisab tai khan itu laga activities to notun nohoi jaise guse tai khan laga bosti de hoile to itu garne tai khan laga main concern hole to tahan kiman diri inega fear de buhi gine jai thaiwa manu kiman diri arms aru ammunitions kan hole bukhi gine ahi gine manu get threaten kuri thagibo itu tai khan laga concern thagishe aro itu mohan ekta note kuribo lagia naga hoho laga former president HK Jimomi pra hoilibi janai dia hisab hoile do taikhan freedom struggle karni bi ahigena itu donation khan bi mangiye goise nation karni bi kam kure ase koi gena ahine donation mangiye goise hoilibi HK Jimomi pra ekta question put out kuria do itu apni khan nation karne kam kure ase koi na ahine donation lo ase hoilibi itu kam do ki laga kam kure ase koi gena Mr. HK Jimomi former naga ho president pra hoilibi ineka ekta question bi put out kurise aru tai pra janai dia hisab hoile do tai khan if at all itu kam khan bi kuri gene jabole ase koile do hosare kam kuri gene village council khan ki approach kuri tan ineka nation garne kam kuri bole mon ase koine hosare ahi gene bi tai khan laga nam khan bi village council khan ki bi kole la bi janai dishe secondly yare tia longchar dayo laga president dusra ekta bishi important ekta main mention kurise aru itu do sabi defection khan faction at the moment tahan itu 25 to 26 factions ase tare hota itu defection thaki ja karni bi factions can be increase ho ase aru at the same time multiple taxation la numbers can be increase hoi ja ase to tare dayo laga president pra ekta statement put out kura itu bishi important ekta statement put out kurisha aru tai pra hoile ekta anti defection law hoile bi tai pra stress kurisha in ekta thagibo lagi aru so far ita factions kan de kiman jon ase sob faction de hoile bi kiman jon ase tu khan la nam kan bi sob public kan ge digine thakile do jani lobo kun anti defect ho ase aru kun bahar jaigine dusra factions khan kiba notun khuli ase notun open koi ase tu khan bi janibo lage ineka hoile bi itu defections kan na thagibo aru faction ita 26 thagya nishna aru bi bishi factions kan do now lai jawle dayo laga president pra hoile bi ineka ekta janai dishe aru itu an sob saigene jaile do tai khan sob bi nijor la concern raise kura ayo khan hoile bi recently ta la concern raise kurisha aru yere itu bar bi dayo khan do itu ita multiple taxation threatening itu manuge tahan life loigene threaten krai tu khan to itia to tan stand kuribole na pariwo koine ekta tai khan ajibi public protest loa laga bi ase nomi back to you
alright akhre apni moige hunia se gole moi ekta aro hudio mun jawa edu recently Kohima devi nia similar incident hoina rally ekta rakhela tadebi apni ground report khan bi jaina ashe kintu edu issue do understanding de ahina resolve bi hoi jaise aro etia edu nishna edu beshi deri na hoina yade Diphupar Chumugedi Madavi in a similar incident ekta hoikina aji edu rally do rakishe to etia yade Chumugedi malaga residents kan laga opinion tahan laga response bi kinika juli kina chaise apni kunba ke bi kotha kurle paribo na nai edu tahan la business nohile bi tade ahina thaga protest se ahina shamil kura khan ge ekbar tahan la reactions kan lo dibi loina dibo paribo na nai
Wait, no me mohan itia so sorry to say itia yere youths kan khara kuri thahan do volunteers kan ase aru program kan do sob khotom hoi jaise mohan agere just before our live conversation mohan itu program de live kan bi jaise aru tare kun kotha kurle ase tambi kotha guise however mohan agere manu itu public rally kuri gine tai khan aji laga public rally morning 9 day shuru kurish de morning 9 day shuru kuri gine tare Diphupar BOC petrol pump airport te gushi jala petrol pump usora shuru kuri gine tahan tare 5th mile junction green park tak punchise green park pra u turn loi gine tahan yere agri expo de ahi gina tahan program do hold kuri loise program do hold kuri loa nishna itu homoi Hornbill TV bi exclusively to Diphupar council Diphupar laga village council chairman aru dusra concerned citizens kan kun protest te bhag loi gere ase mohan tahan ge bi exclusively bi kotha kuri loisire holi mohan itu live te lo nai piche de moi kan itu la bi put out bi kuribo TV kan de holi bi itu ane viewers kan itu karne do tai kan bi sai thagibo they can look forward to it but yere youths kan khara kuri thaga nishna okay we'll try to speak to some youths acha apni volunteer bi khara kurine rukhi ase re holi bi acha apni he kotha kuri dio paro to apni kan aji protest public rally loise and it was a very big success and alak bosti khan bi neighboring villages Sovima and many other neighboring villages were also present na and being a youth yourself and your president was actually threatened by the name the village council has been taking na Kahovichishi what would be your statement on that
first of all thank you Hornbill TV আমি কোন এটো স্টেটমেন্ট অলরেডি আজি প্রোগ্রাম দে রেজলিউশন পাস করেছে সো কালি পরসন পেপার দে ওলাই যাব তাতে আপনার রেজলিউশন দইনে আপনার দেখি লব দ্যাটস ইট
Okay, and any other thing as a youth yourself?
ওকে সি ইতিয়া মুইখন ইনিকা সিচুয়েশন আজি লাগা প্রোগ্রাম দো আজি লা প্রোগ্রাম দো আপনি আন সব দেখি আছে ইতিয়া সোসাইটি রে মুইখন কিমান প্রবলেম চলি আছে তো ইতিয়া এক্সাম্পল মই ইতিয়া আনএমপ্লয়েড মানুহ একজন তো ইতিয়া মই একটা কাম নাই গভর্নমেন্ট জব না করে মই ইতিয়া একটা বিজনেস করু গলিবি উকু করু না পারে মন ছোট হয়ে যায় কিলে সব ইনিকা ফ্র্যাকশনস আই যাব ট্যাক্স মাগিব দোকান একটা ছোট খুলিবি তখন আই যাব আগে একটা সামান সেল নোহোৱা গেৰে তখন মহলা দৌড় আই যাব ইটো নিচিনা মগান ইতিয়া ইউথ লাইফ কান্দে সবে কিমান মানুহ স্ট্রাগল কৰি আছে মান তা ইটো কোন কাৰণে আছে সো কল নাগা আৰ্মি কয় নাগা কয় হলিবি নিজৰ নাগা মানে কিমান টৰ্চাৰ কৰিছে আপুনি সব জানে আছে সো মই একটা আপোনাৰ একটা মেসেজ পাস করুন যাছে থ্রু হর্নবিল টিভি ইটো ডোন্ট বি এ কিবোর্ড ওয়ারিয়ার ওলাবি কি আছে হসা কবি আৰু বুই নাখাবি এনেকা মই গান কিমান মঞ্চত করব তাই গান এডভান্টেজ ডে বাই ডে লৈ থাকিব সো এনেকা যাব কলে তো মান ফিউচারে আৰু ইটো কিবি বেছি দুখ পাব ইটো কাৰণে মই হাম্বল রিকোয়েস্ট টু দ্য পাব্লিকস টু দ্য ইউথস আই বি আগেৰে এনে হনা কি আছে হসা কবি থ্যাংক ইউ
Thank you so much. That is a very good statement. Acha, apni bhi thumbs up dekha ase. Apni bhi apni last side probably bhi statements kumba diwole monas na nai. Apni khan laga itu ajila public rally upor as a youth, concerned youth.
Na moi o youth nahi moi to. Acha. Ini modo deya ase moi to. Acha. Ini supportive.
As a citizen of Diphupar na, apni la bhavna kine ka ase to public rally la upor.
Itu to ekdam khushi pa ase moi to. Aru itu থাকা তো একদম আছে লাগে আর মুভি ইউথে বি সব জানা জানা ক্লাস তো ইনিয়া তাঙ্গি মতো দেখি না ইনিয়া কাম করাই মুই তো ইনি সাপোর্টিভ দেহালা আছে মুই তো
একটা ইউথ প্রেসিডেন্ট একজন কি বি থ্রেটেন করিছে আর তাইলা লাইফ বি লই দিব কই গনে বি থ্রেটেন করিছে কোয়াস না আপনি লা ভাবনা কিনে গা আছে তো পর কামিং ডেজ কান
একদম বিয়া আছে তো ইতুর মি তো মুই তো তালা খরপে যাইছে ইনগানা লোক করাই মুই তো itu to kina naga society to thaki bole kam na itu to ekdam beya lage mui to itu go mui to
okay all right thank you brother ma next apni ki kotha koro apni la bapna kine ka ase aji laga public rally upor
as a member dnyo laga hoile bi ami khan inga incident do society garne bal nai aro naga manu labra tax lobo ইটো পইচা পৰা বন্ধু কিনিনা আৰু নিজৰ লোকাল মানুহে থ্ৰেটেন কৰিব কতে ইটো মান এলাউড নকৰিব আৰু বুস্তিতে যিমান মানুহ ইটো একটা ফেকশন কে কোৱা নহয় এজ এ হোল ফেকশনস কিমান ফেকশন আছে ইটো আমিয়ান সাপোর্ট নকৰিব একসেপ্ট নকৰিব আৰু যোন মানুহ আৰু ফিউচাৰটি কৰিছে বোলে আমিয়ান কাস্টমাৰী ল একটা আছে আমি খান না আজা হিচাপৰা আমিয়ান কি কৰিব ইটো কৰিব কইনা জনাই দি আছে থ্যাংক ইউ
মই আৰু একটা হুডিও মন আছে আপনিয়ান পয়লা এপ্রিল না কিলা মইনা দে হইলিবি মানু আইহিনা ফার্মাসিস্ট একজন গে থ্রেটেন করি গিনে তাইকে লই যাইছে আৰু তাইলা ওয়াইফ কে বি দামকা সময় আপনিহান ঠিক যাই গিনা ইউথ কান হি যাই গিনা উটু খান গে দুরিও পারিছে এলেজ কালপ্রিট খান গে আৰু ইটু বারবি আপনিহান হি তাইকে দুরি গিনা পুলিশ খান গে বি হ্যান্ডওভার খান বি কৰিছে না আপনিহান ইউথস খান লাগা স্ট্রেংথ কি আছে আৰু আপনিহান কিনেগা ইনেগা ইউনাইটেড হৈ গিনে থাকিবলে পারে আছে আৰু কিনেগা ইউনাইটেড হৈ গিনে ইনে একটা সাকসেসফুল পাবলিক ৰেলি হোল্ড কৰিব পারে আছে আপনি লা থটস কিনে আছে
ঠিক আছে আমিয়ান ডিএনওয়াইও দো হয় ল এনফোর্সমেন্ট বিন হয় হলিবি বস্তিলা সিকিউরিটি একটা আছে আমি গান রাতিতে হবি দিন দে হবি কি বস্তিতে প্রবলেম ওলাই আমিয়ান ইটো করে না ইটো কিডন্যাপিং লা টাইম দিবি আমিয়ান যাইছে ধরিছে হলিবি তো এজ পার দ্য ল আমিয়ান পুলিশকে হ্যান্ড ওভার করেছে আৰু যোন বস্তিতে ঝামেলা ওলাই আমি গান থাকে না হলিবি আমিয়ান বি ল এন্ড অর্ডার বি চাব আৰু গভর্নমেন্ট লাগিনা আছে আমিয়ান কাস্টমারি ল কিনা আছে ইটো চেক কৰি না আমি খান ইটো হিচাপ প্ৰায় কাম কৰে কোৱাটো জানাই দি আছে
Thank you so much for speaking to us, brother. Future dibi akha ase apni anina bhau kam kori thakibo koine na. Thank you. Itu thagise moi khan yare Diphupar youth organization kan ge bi kotha kura ta mi khushi na pala kotha bi janai dise aru actively kam kuri thaka nishna issues kan ki ulai lebi tahan successfully issues kan bi curb kuru pare ase aru ina public rally ekta bi tahan successfully hold kuribole parise janai dia nishna in terms of 2000 manu nishna aigene to public rally do attend kurishe not just from the Diphupar village but also usor neighboring villages kan bi aigene attend bi kurishe aru yare Diphupar hoile to tahan nijor ke Diphupar village kan hoye tahan nijor ke mini Nagaland mati aru etu mini Nagaland to kile ase ko alag tribe kan bir angami au semi kan hoile sob bi aigene Diphupar village te ekta hoine buhi ase chairman do semi ase ko letai laga alag colleagues kan do alag tribe la hoine ta nina ekta kurigene buhi ase aru itu tai khan karne this in itself is a big success for them aru ta khan inega successfully public rally ekta bi hold kuro para to manu bishi bi khushi pa aru public khan ki bi tai khan ge village leaders khan ge ulibi bodies alag ke ulibi applaud kurala bi dikhi pa ase nomi back to you
अच्छा आखिर lastly एकता हुदियो एदु रैली करने आजी shops kan bi 8 bajiba loina bon kurela thaise to eta rally do khodom hoise to tade area de dukan kan do eta khuli jaisna na edula opore bi update eko asna nai aro
acha nomi so far man ite itula updates nai kile hole mohan yare agri expo la bitor de hi khara kraise holi shops kan closure thaka nishna itia to rally to khotom hoi jese aro tare traffic congestion kan bi olop thaki ne traffic police kan bi manu bishi bi ahine duty kan bi kurise not just that but Nagaland police kan bi ahigene all the way from the beginning to the end of the rally public rally ta bi ahigene attend kurise but itia to tai kan rally khotom hoi jese public sob bi disperse hwa nishna hopefully dukan kan bi khuli jai ne thaki man itia itula piche de holi updates kan di diwo nomi
all right thank you so much akre tare ground de mohan ge sob details kan update kore daine aro muge join garna ne kara karne thank you so much right to mohan idia mohan la reported lode bra hunia nishna edia manukhan la reaction support bi loina tai bra janai deshe kindu ekta manu bra to koise keyboard warrior na hobi pahar ulaigna ki truth ase idula opore khara kurle labi du Diphupar youth kunba han brabi tahan la voice raise kura concern raise kura la man itia dikhi paise aro idula opore man piche de arbi updates kan ani thagibo aro akite reporter ba koi dia nishna edu rally de 2000 plus nishna manukhan ahigina alag tribes kan bi ahigina Diphupar villagers thagya ekla nohina osor de thagya manukhan brabi ahina support dia labi reporter pa mohan ge etia chanai dishe to idula opore aro piche de latest updates kan ani thagibo ida arne man hi side ge Hornbill TV